Ever notice how ramen somehow tastes even better at 2 a.m. when you're emotionally fragile, broke, and questioning your entire life's direction? You're sitting there, slurping noodles like it's a warm hug from the universe. Today we're peeling back the steamy, delicious mystery behind the name. And trust me, the story is way more dramatic than your late-night cravings. I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, why is it called ramen? Right here on Explaining Everything. Alright, first twist. Ramen isn't originally Japanese. Yeah, I know. Shocking. Like finding out instant noodles aren't actually instant. They take 3 minutes. Fraud. The truth is, ramen has Chinese roots. The earliest versions came from Chinese wheat noodles, particularly something called ramen, which literally translates to pulled noodles, as in noodles stretched dramatically by hand, like some kind of culinary yoga. Chinese immigrants brought ramen to Japan sometime in the late 1800s, but it wasn't some grand introduction like, "Behold the noodle of destiny." No, it was sold mostly by street vendors, especially in Yokohama's Chinatown. And the Japanese people were like, Chinese food, but what if we made it ours? You know the drill. But this is where the name starts forming. And no, ramen is not the noise you make when you slurp it. That's just you embarrassing yourself. Here's the fun part. Historians can't 100% agree on the exact origin. Yes, an entire international food category. And the name is a debate. Humans are thriving. There are two main theories. First, ramen became ramen. This is the most widely accepted explanation. Japanese pronunciation often changes foreign words to fit their syllables. So, ramen, naturally evolved into ramen. Simple, clean, very we don't need drama energy. Second, ramen, old noodles, became ramen. Another idea says it came from ramen, meaning old noodles. Not expired, don't worry. It referred to a specific noodle-making process. But honestly, calling it old noodles sounds like an instant marketing disaster. Would you like a bowl of our finest elderly noodles? Yeah, no. That theory is probably losing for a reason. Regardless of the exact root, by the early 1900s, the word ramen was already appearing in Japan to describe this new style of wheat noodle soup inspired by Chinese cooking. And the Japanese language said, "We'll take it from here," and never looked back. Once ramen landed in Japan, it didn't just exist, it thrived. It became the star of its own anime arc. This is the period when Japan said, "Okay, China, thanks for the noodles. We're upgrading this to a main character." Over the early 20th century, ramen evolved into regional styles. Sapporo ramen, miso-based cold weather champion. Hakata ramen, super rich pork broth. Tokyo ramen, soy sauce goodness. It became so iconic that by the 1950s, Japan was in a full ramen renaissance. And then, enter Momofuku Ando, the man, the myth, the noodle legend. In 1958, he invented instant ramen, which basically saved every broke student in the world. The name ramen formally locked in worldwide because instant ramen sounds like bootleg shampoo. At this point, ramen wasn't just a word. It was a lifestyle, a comfort food, a symbol of survival, and a dish you eat at 2 a.m. after making terrible decisions. So, after everything we've learned, why did the name ramen become the one everyone agreed on? Simple. It just worked. Humans can't agree on anything, but for some reason, we all nodded and said, "Yep, ramen sounds right." First, ramen is short and ridiculously easy to say. Ramen turning into ramen is basically the linguistic version of switching from dress shoes to slippers. Way more comfortable and way more practical. You can say it half asleep while hungry, or while aggressively stirring seasoning powder. No effort needed. Another reason is linguistics. Japanese doesn't really do the la sound, so ramen naturally shifted into ramen. Zero drama. It's just the language doing what it does. Kind of like when your Lola takes your name and invents her own remix. Then instant ramen hit the world in the 1950s and sealed the deal. People saw the word printed on the cup, didn't ask questions, and just said, "Cool, food." The name spread faster than hunger during midnight. And finally, ramen evolved so much in Japan that it became its own identity. Different broths, regions, flavors, styles. It wasn't ramen anymore. It wasn't old noodles. It wasn't your "I'm sad, feed me" emergency meal. It became ramen, a dish with personality and worldwide fame. In short, ramen became ramen, and the name stuck because it earned it. So, why is it called ramen? Because the name likely came from Chinese ramen, got Japaneseified into ramen, and then became cemented worldwide thanks to instant noodles, late-night cravings, and the human race's inability to cook anything that takes more than 3 minutes. From humble Chinese street food to a Japanese cultural icon, to the international meal of students, tired office workers, and people pretending they know how to slurp correctly. Ramen has had one wild glow-up. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new about your favorite late-night noodle lifesaver, please like and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.